Hello, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Through the Eye of a Toy Guy with your host, Toy Guy 1182. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the 1993 G.I.Joe Brigade Starfighter with Sci-Fi version 3. Before we get started on the toy review, I would like to take a minute to say that this has been a lot of fun. I'm going to keep doing this. There'll be lots more toy related videos on this channel. I will be reviewing all kinds of different toys, vintage, modern toys from G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Thundercats, and so much more other toys. But as a little heads up, I am a Joe guy, so there will be quite a bit of G.I. Joe from the 1982 through 1994 toy line, and some from the 25th and 50th anniversary lines as well. But there will also be other reviews, unboxing, and much more from a wide variety of toy lines. So if you guys don't want to miss any of that, hit the subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get on with the toy. Alright, starting off first, we'll take a quick look at the box. You guys can see that good. See the art there. G.I. Joe Starfighter, Star Brigade. I'm not quite for sure why they made the sub-team title bigger than the G.I. Joe title. I don't understand what they was thinking there. But anyways, moving on, it says laser rockets shoot. Shows you there your Sci-Fi, which is version 3. The art is okay. I think the art in the 80s G.I. Joe toys were so much better than in the 90s. The 90s, especially like 93, 94, the toy line was coming to an end. So I think they really just kind of just threw stuff together just to get rid of stuff, sell stuff that older stuff, just to sell it, get rid of it, make Hasbro some money. Pretty sure they knew the line was coming to an end already, so they just threw stuff together. Anyways, the Star Brigade was worth, Starfighter was worth 2 flag points. Take a look at the back of the box here. The back of the box is pretty much just gives you kind of a heads up on what's what. It shows you, this is that, lasers really shoot. It's got a little description up here. So you guys can see that. Gives you an idea of what's going on with this Starfighter. It says, twin liquid-cooled rocket engines blaze like supernovas as they launch a starfighter into space at the speed of light. Cobra doesn't stand a chance against these turbocharged fighter jets, especially after a few blasts from their rocket-launching laser cannons. The file card, Sci-Fi version 3's file card was located on the back of the box. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. So move the box out of the way and get on with the tool. Okay, so here's the 1993 Star Brigade Starfighter with Sci-Fi version 3. We'll take a look at him a little bit later. Let's scoot him out of the way. Starting with the Starfighter, we'll start in the beginning here with this big giant rubber nose cone. It's just a big pointy rubber piece. The blueprints call this the heat-resistant nose cone with internal radar. Move on down through here. We got what appears to be some really nice details. Maybe some engine stuff on to the flat part. And then we get to the canopy, which the file card refers to this as the opening fighter pilot canopy, which reveals the cockpit. Take a look at that. It's got some decent paneling, some mold. instruments, molded instruments in there. The blueprints refer to this as the Navigational Control System Computer. But still, no joystick. So flying this thing would seem to me would be kind of hard, but I guess not. Sci-Fi knows how to handle it, so he can do it. That's why I'm not a G.I. Joe pilot. Then on to this molded in detail here, which the file cards refer to these as the 2 liquid-cooled rocket engines, which have these 2 bronze, goldish kind of looking tubes that run from this engine molded in detail into this. As a kid, I always kind of imagined these 2 being your fuel tanks on the underneath and your coolant. And these tubes, which is connected on each side, both sides are identically, they're the same. But I always pictured it as the fuel being sucked up from those tanks through here into the engine, burning, blasting the fire out through the exhaust out the other end. The blueprints refer to these tubes as 2 fuel support / coolant tubes. So and then you got these on the ends, which are your exhaust ports. Then you have your pivoting tail, which the blueprints refer to this as the pivoting tail / landing gear. What's one really cool feature about this thing that I always digged as a kid was you fold that up, you stand it upright, and then you have it in like a launch position, like a launch mode, like they do real rock. Flipping it upside down, you guys can see that. It does pretty much have a lot of really good plastic molding. Like I said before, I always refer to these as being the fuel tanks. The blueprints don't actually say what these are. I guess it's up for your imagination. Then we move on to the weaponry, which is the rocket firing laser cannon. It does rotate. It will rotate all the way around 360, but when you put a rocket in there, it tends to hit against these and don't really work out too good. And the blueprints refer to this as the rocket firing laser cannon. Now, since when laser cannons started shooting rockets, I have no idea. I always was under the assumption that cannons shot laser beams, not rockets. The file card refers to these as 4 Star Blast rockets. I'll give you a quick little, just lock it in like so until it clicks. Point where you want. Orange trigger on the back. Cobra's dust. These spring-loaded weapons as a kid were awesome. I thought they was just the coolest thing G.I. Joe had done for a while, because like I said, in the 90s, I was kind of, G.I. Joe was going in a direction that I really wasn't following with all these sublines. I like some stuff out of each subline, but I don't really care for everything in every subline. Like the alien, for example, in this Star Brigade, I didn't care too much for the aliens. The armor tech guys like Hawk, for example, I wasn't too big on these. I mean, they was okay, but I mean, they wasn't what I was used to. They wasn't the G.I. Joes that I really liked and loved. So I kind of was getting out of the Joes around this time. Now we have our, take a look at Sci-Fi version 3. Starting with this gun. I couldn't find nothing on the blueprints or the file card or nothing on what this is other than a laser rifle. So there's a laser rifle. Set that to the side and we'll take a look at his helmet. Remove his helmet, which is not very easy to do on this guy. I don't know if all the ones are like that, but this one tends to stick. But here's a look at his helmet. The file card, the blueprints refer to this helmet as the standard issue Starfighter's command helmet. See that? That's got a little peg. I believe the older versions had a hose that ran from the helmet into something, but I'm not really for sure. There's a peg on the back of the laser rifle as well. Maybe it could have ran to that. I don't know. I don't have an older Sci-Fi version. Moving on to his suit, which the blueprints refer to as a pressurized starfighter pilot suit, which would be the white, all the white there. And he's got this blue vest. Goes all the way around. The blueprints refer to this as the pressurized regulated G-force chest plate. It's got little details here. Not sure if you guys can see this. Little, looks to be like two little stars there. He's got a couple little things on his shoulders. Moving on to his arms. On his flight suit, he's got a pouch on both his arms. Down onto his gray gloves, which the file cards refer to these as custom fit hot finger battle gloves. And then move on down there. You see he's got a gray belt that goes all the way around with the pouch on the side. His flight suit continues down to his legs with these gray rings that wrap around both of his legs. I'm not quite for sure what those are. Then his flight suit is tucked into his boots, and the blueprints refer to these boots as metal-plated lead foot space boots. Now, the reason why they're lead foot, in my opinion, is if he's outside of his spaceship in space for something, maybe making repairs or something, the lead feet in his boots will help keep him from just floating off in this space. You see here he's got a knife in this boot with a sheath. This version 3 of Sci-Fi is the exact same version, is the exact same figure as version 2 Sci-Fi, just in different colors. To where Sci-Fi version 3 suit is white, gray, and blue. Sci-Fi version 2 is gray, black, and yellow. You can see it's the exact same figure, same knives, same everything, same head, just with a different color application from version 2 to version 3 Sci-Fi. I'm taking a quick look at his file card, codename Sci-Fi Starfighter Pilot. His file name, primary military specialty, laser weapon systems operator. Secondary military specialty, electronic instrument repair. Birthplace, grade E4. It's got a little quote here. When you're pulling an inverted G-force dive during a stellar dogfight, there's no room for error. Now, to me, that may be coming from Sci-Fi, mate. You know, I'm not really for sure on that, but to me it sounds like it's coming from Sci-Fi. Then down here, it's got just a little description. Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi's fascination with electronics and high-tech laser optics forced him to take a leave of absence to complete his master's degree in electronical engineering. His studies led him to combine a laser weapons remote target designator and optical sensors to create an unparalleled security system that has since been adapted by NASA. An obvious genius with lasers and radical design instrumentation, Sci-Fi became the first recruit to pilot a starfighter. He handles the jet's controls with confidence, even at quasar velocities exceeding the speed of light. In combat, he fires laser rockets with incredible accuracy and has turned more than a dozen Cobra invaders into burned out pieces of galactic garbage. And down here it gives you in the 90s. This was cool. I wish all G.I. Joes would have did this. But in the 90s, they started kind of giving you a diagram and letting you know what's what on the figure. Couple real quick facts about the 1993 Star Brigade Starfighter. The Starfighter is actually a remolded, reused version of the 1988 Cobra Stellar Stiletto. The only difference is the paint, obviously, and the weapon. The original Stiletto, Cobra Stiletto, didn't have this spring fired thing. It had like a laser cannons, or I'm not exactly for sure what it had, but I know it had laser cannons and maybe rockets. I'm not totally for sure on that. And another interesting fact is this rocket is the same exact one that you reused on the 1993 Cobra Invader. As you see here, they are exactly the same with the same missiles. The only difference is Starfighters is orange, Invaders is neon green. No freaking neon G.I. Joe with their 90s neon colors. They went above and beyond on the neon colors. Alright, this has been my review of the G.I. Joe Star Brigade 1993 Starfighter with version 3 Sci-Fi. If you guys like what you've seen, be sure to subscribe because there'll be lots more toy stuff on this channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, hit a thumbs down. Either way, let me know what's going on out there, guys. And until the next one, this has been Through the Eye of a Toy Guy with your host, Toy Guy 1182. See you on the next one.